Welcome back to the Expensive Coins History channel, fellow numismatists and curious minds. Today, we embark on a journey into the world of Australian decimal coinage with a spotlight on a coin that has sparked curiosity among collectors for decades, the 1974 Australian 10-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II, with no visible mint mark. This is more than just loose change. It is a story of history, production, rarity, condition, and value. If you have one of these coins or are simply intrigued by its background and current market worth, stay tuned, because we are about to uncover everything you need to know about this fascinating piece of Australian numismatic heritage. The year is 1974. Australia has already completed its decimal transition, which took place in 1966. The 10-cent coin, introduced as part of the decimal system, was created to replace the pre-decimal shilling. It held the same value, and its size and composition were strikingly similar. By 1974, the decimal currency system had become well established in everyday life. The coin itself belongs to a generation of decimal pieces struck at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra. Unlike coins from some other countries that frequently include visible mint marks to indicate the production facility, Australian coins during this era generally did not bear such marks. Thus, the absence of a mint mark on the 1974 10-cent coin is not necessarily an error or anomaly. Rather, it reflects the standard production practices of the time. The obverse, or front, of the coin features the regal profile of Queen Elizabeth II. This particular effigy is known as the Machin portrait, named after its designer Arnold Machin. The image shows a young Queen Elizabeth, crowned with the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. Surrounding her image is the inscription, Elizabeth II Australia 1974, clean, simple, and instantly recognizable. On the reverse side, we find one of Australia's most striking native birds, the superb lyrebird. This design was crafted by the renowned artist and goldsmith Stuart Devlin. With its long, curved tail feathers splayed in a dramatic display, the lyrebird is a symbol of both natural beauty and cultural identity. Below the bird, the denomination is clearly marked with the number 10, followed by the word cents. The 1974 Australian 10-cent coin was minted in copper nickel, a durable alloy composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel. It has a diameter of 23.60 mm and a thickness of approximately 2 mm. It weighs 5.65 grams and features a milled edge. These specifications have remained consistent for most Australian 10-cent coins issued since 1966. In terms of mintage, over 46 million examples of the 10-cent coin were produced in 1974. This places it firmly within the category of mass-produced circulation coinage. It is not rare in terms of total numbers, and it is still relatively common to find circulated examples in old coin jars, boxes of loose change, or inherited collections. However, as we will discuss shortly, condition and other factors play a critical role in determining its value. Although the 1974 10-cent coin is not rare by mintage numbers alone, its value potential lies in the details. Coins that have remained in exceptional condition, with no signs of wear, scratches, tarnish, or cleaning, are significantly more desirable. These uncirculated examples, often referred to as mint state coins, are prized among collectors. In numismatics, coins are graded using a standardized scale, typically ranging from poor, good, fine, very fine, extremely fine, about uncirculated, to various levels of mint state. A circulated 1974 10-cent coin will most likely fall into the fine to very fine range, showing signs of wear and reduced detail. In this condition, the coin generally holds only minimal collector value and may sell for just slightly above face value. However, coins that reach the grades of extremely fine, about uncirculated, or uncirculated are a different story. These coins may still retain their original mint luster, with sharp detail in the lyrebird's feathers, clear definition in the queen's hair and facial features, and an undamaged edge. Such coins may have been kept in albums, envelopes, or other protective storage from the time of issue. In 2025, the collector market continues to show interest in high-grade examples of common date coins, especially those that are now 50 years old or more. A 1974 10-cent coin in mint state condition can attract strong interest and achieve respectable prices, particularly among collectors who are assembling complete decimal collections or sets from the 1970s. A heavily circulated 1974 10-cent coin will typically fetch only a nominal value, usually between $1 and $2 Australian dollars. In very fine condition, it might bring in $3 to $5 depending on demand. If the coin is graded extremely fine, that range increases to $5 to $10 for coins in about uncirculated or full uncirculated condition, especially those that have been professionally graded and encapsulated by a reputable grading service. The value can rise considerably. In some cases, certified mint state coins have sold for $20, $30, or even more dollars, particularly if they exhibit exceptional eye appeal and have been well preserved for half a century. Even higher values can be achieved if the coin exhibits any minting errors or anomalies. While the 1974 issue is not widely known for major error varieties, it is always possible to find examples with off-center strikes, die cracks, doubling, or planchet issues. These types of errors, while rare, can dramatically increase the value of a coin, sometimes into the hundreds of dollars depending on the severity and visual appeal of the flaw. It's important for collectors and sellers alike to understand that the market value of a coin is not static. It fluctuates over time based on demand, the overall economy, the popularity of coin collecting as a hobby, and other macroeconomic factors. As we move further into the 21st century, coins from the early decimal period in Australia are gradually shifting from modern to vintage status, which may continue to support or even increase their market value in years to come. For those wondering if they should invest in such coins, the answer depends on your goals. If you enjoy collecting coins for historical, educational, or nostalgic reasons, the 1974 Australian 10-cent coin offers great value, especially when acquired in high grades. If you are seeking a long-term investment, it may not outperform more limited or precious metal issues, but it can still be a worthwhile piece of a diversified collection. If you happen to own one of these coins and are unsure of its grade or value, consider having it evaluated by a professional numismatist or coin dealer. Reputable grading services can assign an official grade, which not only helps determine market value but also makes the coin more attractive to potential buyers. As always, be cautious when buying or selling coins online. Pay close attention to photographs, ask questions about condition and provenance, and deal only with trusted sellers who have good reputations in the numismatic community. To wrap up, the 1974 Australian 10-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II and the lyrebird is a piece of living history. It reflects the values, art, and economic transition of a nation in the mid-20th century. While not rare in circulation, its value lies in quality and condition. In 2025, a high-grade example of this coin can be worth significantly more than its face value, and as time passes, its significance and potential market worth may continue to grow. The 1981 Australian 10-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II. This particular coin is commonly referred to as the no-mint mark version, and there has been ongoing discussion among collectors about its significance, rarity, and potential value. Is this coin a hidden gem that could be worth a lot of money today? Or is it just another common coin found in your change jar? In this video, we are going to explore the full story, from its design and production to how much it could be worth in 2025. So, sit back, grab your coin loop, and let's get started. The story of the Australian 10-cent coin begins with the country's transition to decimal currency in the mid-20th century. On the 14th of February 1966, Australia introduced decimal coins and banknotes, replacing the old system of pounds, shillings, and pence. The 10-cent coin was one of the new decimal denominations introduced at the time, essentially replacing the old shilling. Since its introduction, the 10-cent coin has featured a consistent design. The obverse of the coin bears the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. In 1981, the effigy used was designed by Arnold Machin. This image depicts the Queen facing right, wearing the royal tiara known as the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. This portrait was used on Australian coins from 1966 through the mid-1980s and remains an iconic representation of the monarch during that era. The reverse of the coin features a stunning depiction of a superb lyrebird, a native Australian bird known for its remarkable tail feathers and extraordinary ability to mimic sounds. The lyrebird design, crafted by Stuart Devlin, has become synonymous with the 10-cent coin and is admired for its fine detail and artistic elegance. In 1981, Australia saw a particularly large production of 10-cent coins due to growing economic demands and increased coin circulation needs. But what makes this year stand out, and why do collectors continue to discuss this coin today? In 1981, the production of the 10-cent coin was handled not only by the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra but also outsourced to international facilities due to high production requirements. Some of these coins were produced in the United Kingdom at the Royal Mint in Llantrisant, Wales. However, unlike some other coins in Australian currency history, the coins minted in 1981 do not feature a mint mark to indicate their place of origin. This is what gives rise to the term no mint mark when people refer to the 1981 10-cent coin. It is not that a mint mark is missing due to an error or misstrike, rather, none of the coins from this year were struck with a mint mark to begin with. This was standard practice at the time for this denomination. So when someone refers to a no mint mark 1981 10-cent coin, they are referring to the regular issue coin that was produced for general circulation. Now, it is important to clarify this point. Because no mint mark was ever intended or used on these coins, having no mint mark does not in itself make a coin rare or special. It is simply the standard for that year. That being said, other factors such as condition, strike quality, and potential die varieties could influence its collectability and market value. When assessing the rarity of any coin, one must look at the total mintage numbers, the distribution, surviving population in high grade, and the presence of any errors or unique characteristics. In the case of the 1981 10-cent coin, the total mintage was quite high, over 100 million coins were produced that year. This makes the coin relatively common in circulated condition. However, not all coins are treated equally by collectors. Coins that have survived in exceptional condition, those with sharp detail, brilliant luster, and no signs of circulation, are significantly more desirable to numismatists. These uncirculated or mint state examples are much harder to come by, especially when found outside of mint or proof sets. There are also a limited number of proof versions of the 1981 10-cent coin. These coins were not intended for circulation and were specifically made for collectors. They were struck using highly polished dies and special planchets, resulting in a mirror-like surface and sharp detail. These proof coins are far rarer than their circulation counterparts and command a notable premium in the market, especially when certified by a reputable grading authority. Some collectors also seek out coins with die errors or planchet flaws. While no widely documented error varieties are associated with the 1981 10-cent coin, individual coins may still exist with doubling, off-center strikes, or other minting anomalies. These can increase interest and value for collectors who specialize in error coins. When it comes to determining the true market value of a coin, condition is everything. Coins are generally graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers indicating better preservation and eye appeal. Coins that fall within the mint state or proof categories, typically grading MS60 or higher, are the ones that hold the most value. Even small differences in grade can lead to significant differences in price. For example, a coin graded MS63 might be worth a few dollars, whereas a coin graded MS67 or higher could command significantly more due to its rarity in that condition. Factors that influence a coin's grade include the sharpness of the strike, the presence or absence of contact marks, the quality of the surfaces, and overall eye appeal. Luster, color, and toning can also affect desirability, especially among more advanced collectors. Another important market factor is demand. Even a common coin can gain value if there is a surge in collector interest. Coins from significant years, coins featuring Queen Elizabeth II as her reign comes to an end, or coins from birth years and anniversaries often see spikes in attention. This kind of emotional and historical connection can drive up prices even for coins with otherwise modest mintage numbers. So what is the 1981 no-mint mark Australian 10-cent coin actually worth in 2025? The answer, as always, depends on condition and context. A standard circulated 1981 10-cent coin, the kind you might find in your pocket or in an old coin jar, typically carries a value only slightly above face value. In most cases, it is worth between 10 and 50 cents to collectors, depending on the level of wear. However, an uncirculated coin in mint state condition could be worth anywhere from a few dollars up to 20 or more. If the surfaces are exceptional and the strike is particularly clean, proof versions, particularly those graded by professional services and preserved in near-perfect condition, can reach values well above $100. These are usually sold in auctions, collector fairs, or online marketplaces and are often bought by serious numismatists or collectors assembling a complete proof set from the era. It is important to remember that while the coin may not make you rich overnight, it can still be a valuable piece of a broader collection, especially when preserved properly or paired with other coins from the same series or era. If you have a 1981 Australian 10-cent coin, take a close look at its condition. Is it bright and free of wear? Does it have full details on the Queen's tiara or the lyrebird's feathers? Has it been stored carefully and untouched by human hands or cleaning agents? These are the factors that determine whether it's a common coin worth a few cents or a collectible piece worth much more. If you believe your coin might be in exceptional condition, consider having it professionally graded. Certification from a respected grading company not only preserves your coin in a tamper-evident holder but also makes it easier to sell or trade in the collector market. Ultimately, whether you're a casual hobbyist or a serious numismatist, the 1981 10-cent coin holds a special place in Australian currency history. It reminds us of a time when coins were still crafted with an eye for beauty and design, and every piece of change had a story to tell. Thank you so much for joining me in this deep dive into the 1981 Australian 10-cent coin. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, subscribe. The 1993 Australian 10 cents coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II, with no mint mark. You may have come across this coin in your change, tucked in an old drawer, or found it inside a family coin jar. But is this coin truly worth anything today? What's the story behind it? Could it be rare or even valuable in 2025? Stay tuned, because this video will cover the complete history of this coin, explore its design and production details, examine its rarity and collectible value, and finally, reveal what it's worth in today's market. The 10 cents coin is part of Australia's decimal currency system, which was introduced on the 14th of February 1966. It replaced the older pre-decimal system and aimed to simplify the nation's monetary transactions. The 10 cents denomination was modeled after the British shilling in value but introduced with new imagery and updated design reflecting Australian culture and identity. The 1993 edition of the 10 cents coin carries forward the legacy of this denomination. On the obverse side, it features the third official portrait of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. This portrait, introduced in the mid-1980s, depicts the Queen facing to the right, wearing the royal diadem, and exudes a composed and regal demeanor. The portrait was meticulously designed to reflect both majesty and dignity, with finely sculpted features and delicate texturing in the Queen's hair and crown. Surrounding her portrait are the inscriptions of her name, Elizabeth II, the country name, Australia, and the year of issue, 1993. This clean, balanced design maintains a formal appearance suitable for the country's official currency. On the reverse side, the coin features the majestic lyrebird, a native Australian species renowned for its mimicry and elaborate tail feathers. The lyrebird's tail spans elegantly over the coin's surface, curling forward in a display of natural beauty and grace. It's a fitting choice to symbolize the richness of Australia's unique wildlife. The reverse design has remained largely unchanged since its introduction, standing as one of the longest-standing coin motifs in Australian numismatics. The coin is struck in cupronickel, a durable and corrosion-resistant alloy, and weighs approximately 5.65 grams with a diameter of 23.6 millimeters. It features a milled edge and was intended primarily for circulation. No commemorative or design variants were officially issued for this denomination in 1993. One of the most frequently asked questions about this coin relates to the so-called no mint mark label. So what does it really mean? In Australian coinage, the absence of a mint mark on circulating decimal coins is actually the norm rather than the exception. Coins minted at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra for general circulation typically do not carry a visible mint mark. While some special releases, collector sets, or coins struck by other facilities such as the Perth Mint may include identifying mint marks, the 1993 10 cents coin was produced solely at the Royal Australian Mint and bears no mint mark. Therefore, when collectors refer to a no mint mark 1993 10 cents coin, they are actually describing the standard circulation issue. It is not an error, a variation, or a rare subtype. It is simply the way most 10 cents coins were produced that year. However, this detail has occasionally led to misunderstandings and confusion among newer collectors who may believe the lack of a mint mark is an anomaly or indicative of a rare issue. It's important to clarify that this is not the case. That being said, condition, mintage, and other factors may still influence the coin's value significantly. The mintage of the 1993 10-cent coin is relatively high by numismatic standards. Over 23 million coins were struck for circulation that year. That places the 1993 issue firmly in the common category in terms of availability, especially in circulated condition. However, while the total mintage is large, the true rarity of a coin is not determined solely by how many were minted. It's about how many have survived in excellent condition, how many have been lost or damaged over time, and how many are still in the hands of collectors. Coins that were heavily circulated tend to exhibit wear, scratches, dulling of details, and even corrosion. By contrast, uncirculated coins, coins from mint sets, or coins that were well preserved since issue may now be much harder to find in pristine condition. Now let's turn to the key question: what makes some 1993 10-cent coins more valuable than others? There are several factors that determine a coin's market value. 1. Condition/grade. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state. A coin in good or very good condition shows visible signs of wear but is still identifiable. Higher up the scale are extremely fine and uncirculated grades, which show minimal to no wear and retain their original mint luster. Uncirculated or mint state examples of the 1993 10-cent coin are considerably more valuable than their circulated counterparts. 2. Luster and eye appeal. A bright, untarnished coin with clean surfaces and sharp details will always attract higher interest. Toning, if natural and attractive, can also add to the appeal. 3. Rarity and high grade. Although the coin is common in general, it becomes significantly scarcer in pristine condition. Fewer coins have survived decades in uncirculated states, making those examples more desirable for collectors assembling full high-grade decimal collections. 4. Errors and varieties. Minting errors can increase a coin's value significantly. Examples of valuable errors include double strikes, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or die cracks. If any of these errors are found on a 1993 10-cent coin, they can dramatically increase its collectible appeal and market price. 5. Demand among collectors. Finally, the level of interest from collectors influences value. If a coin becomes trendy or completes a key part of a date run, it may fetch a higher price simply due to increased demand. Let's talk numbers. As of the year 2025, the value of the 1993 no-mint mark Australian 10-cent coin can be roughly categorized as follows: circulated condition, coins that have been in everyday use, showing visible wear and scratches, typically trade for between 10 to 50 cents. While they are worth slightly more than face value to some collectors, their abundance keeps prices modest. Lightly circulated or very fine condition, coins with minimal wear but not quite uncirculated can range from 50 cents to around $2. These are better preserved examples that may appeal to casual collectors. Uncirculated condition, coins that have never been used in circulation and show no signs of handling or damage are far more valuable. These coins may sell for between $3 and $7, with particularly flawless specimens potentially reaching the $10 range. Original mint set examples may also fall into this price category. Proof or presentation quality. Although proof coins were not struck for general circulation, some 1993 proof 10-cent coins were included in collector sets. These coins, featuring mirror-like surfaces and enhanced detail, can be valued at $10 to $20 or more, depending on condition and packaging. Error coins. If you happen to possess a 1993 10-cent coin with a documented minting error, the value can vary dramatically. Depending on the nature of the error, Prices can range from $20 to several hundred, though such cases are rare and should be verified by a professional numismatist or grading service. In conclusion, while the 1993 no-mint mark Australian 10-cents coin is not especially rare in circulated condition, it remains a fascinating piece of decimal currency history. Its value in 2025 is modest for most examples, but coins in uncirculated or proof condition, or those with legitimate minting errors, can be worth significantly more. If you are a collector, always store your coins in proper holders to prevent tarnishing or scratches. Avoid cleaning them, as cleaning can reduce value. If you believe you have a valuable error or high-grade coin, consider submitting it to a recognized grading service for authentication and professional evaluation. For casual collectors and enthusiasts, the 1993 10-cents coin serves as a great example of Australia's enduring coinage tradition and the lasting legacy of Queen Elizabeth II on Commonwealth currency. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or informative, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let us know in the comments if you have a 1993 10-cents coin, and what condition it's in. We'd love to hear your story. Until next time, happy collecting.